Well, here I am. I'm almost 63 and I'm still kicking and I'm not going anywhere. So I just want to say thanks everybody for supporting this channel and helping me to get it grow, even though it's been literally like it's like a roller coaster ride. But before I get deep into what I have to show you today, I just want to say thank you so much, you guys, for joining me, creating this awesome community, having our therapy sessions. It really is. I'll tell you, I keep telling you every week, it's a highlight of my weeks. And I very much enjoy spending my time with you. You know, what's weird is like, I feel like I know you all, but obviously I don't know you and you only know me from what I tell you here. But it's just kind of weird to build like these sort of cyber friendships with you all. So, it means a lot. It does. It really does. In this insane world that we live in, I think we're proving so much. So, before I move forward and keep blabbing, I want to just start with if you're new here, I love to call out where you're from. I love to show the diversity of this community we're building. I love to show how worldwide we've become. So many people are joining us constantly. And so with that, the first person I see, hey Tom, thanks for joining us today. So I see wait, hold on. I say you're from Federal Way, Washington. So just tell me where you're from and I'm going to shout you out and then we'll get into my birthday. So thank you for all the wishes. We got Illinois in the house. We got the Netherlands in the house. Did I miss anybody from the top? Let me scroll back because everyone's just wishing me a happy birthday, which is super awesome. Arizona in the house. We got Ohio, Houston, Belgium, Ireland, New York, Arizona, Sarasota, Florida, Ohio, Toronto. Hi, Samantha. I love you. Florida, Janice. Is that where you're from? Wisconsin, UK. Keep going, kids. Keep going, kids. Massachusetts, Nova Scotia, North Carolina, UK, Maryland, UK, Toronto. Did I say Minnesota? I can't remember. Keep it coming, kids. North Carolina. I think I did say you. Toronto, Maryland, UK. So thank you all so much for the birthday wishes. It means a lot. I thought today, and you could just keep posting, and if I see you, I'll call you out, okay? But Washington State, we got Israel in the house, we got Poland, England, Washington State, Serbia's in the house, Baltimore. I told you, worldwide, kids, worldwide. Macon, Georgia. I've never been there actually. I would love to go to I've been to Atlanta, but that's it. So Oklahoma, Petaluma, Sonoma County. I've been there actually. Idaho. My sister lives in Idaho. Thank you guys. You're so sweet to all the birthday wishes. Fort Worth, we got in the house. I've been there too. I've been so many places. I used to live in New Orleans. Thanks for being here, New Orleans. I was there during Katrina. One day I should do a whole Katrina thing because it actually gave me PTSD. To be honest with you, I still have it. We got France in the house. We got a Texan who's stuck in Idaho, New York State in the house. We got global domination, Samantha. We totally do. It's not a joke. Just so you know, I'm gonna be doing a whole thing with Samantha. I'm gonna do like a reaction video with Samantha. Thank you guys for supporting her interview. It was such an amazing interview, and I feel so happy how well it came out. She's extremely intelligent human being, and I just really think it's so cool because we're proving that you guys totally have no issues with transsexual people. You call her and me a he, and it's all good. It's the insane people in the world. Okay, so we got Croatia, Missouri, UK, worldwide, friends, worldwide. So thank you so much for all the birthday wishes. It means the world to me. And I thought today I wanted to talk a little bit about my journey here as a transsexual and as somebody who did struggle as a child, whatever that means, right? I struggled. I think I could probably ask every single one of you that question. Did you struggle as a kid? And I will almost guarantee that probably 99.9, hey Germany, thanks for joining us, percent of the people in this room have struggled somehow in their childhood, whether that be with your gender, whether that be with maybe learning abilities. Hey Pepper, thank you, friend. Maybe with that, happy birthday, Buck. Unfortunately, my schedule shifted again, and this will be my last, oh no, being able to join the live for the first time. Well, I'm going to be doing a live for members only on Saturdays at noon, just so you know. I'm going to be doing that twice a month, okay? So I'll just know that. I took a poll. You all wanted to do 12 noon. Are you a Katrina survivor too? I'm a Katrina. Wow, we got to get into that. But anyway, I digress. I got so many things on my mind today. And so with that, I'm going to be doing members only lives 2 times a month on Saturdays at 12 noon Pacific Standard Time. So I'm so sorry it took me so long to get it all together, but God, you wouldn't even believe how much work it takes to build a channel. It's crazy, 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 crazy. So, but anyway, with that, I just want you all to know that today, talking about my life and a little bit, because I've been wanting to do this with y'all. I'm writing my book right now, and it's pretty awesome. I have this amazing writer woman who's helping me to put my book together, because I'm not a writer, I'm a speaker, and I haven't really ever felt comfortable sort of in front of the thing writing. Every time I would put my fingers on the keyboard, my mind would literally go blank, and I'm like, I just knew what I was going to say, but somehow the thought to the fingers. Oh, thanks for being your first live here. The thought to the fingers would literally blow out of the sky, and I would be like, I have no idea what I'm doing here. So the book has been a long time coming, and I think things happen when they're supposed to, and the book is going to come at the actual right time, because I think a lot of people are struggling with this whole trans nonsense. And I think some of the kids need to see that they're being duped. These kids are being duped into thinking they're trans, and the kids are being duped into taking testosterone and talking about, I just have this new video that I found that it's literally, this kid looks so young. I don't know how old they are, because I on some level look and act young for 63. But that being said, this kid looks so young, it's going to blow your mind. And she starts out with, this is 1 minute on testosterone or something like that. And then it goes all the way to 3 years on testosterone. And all this person is talking about is their voice. That's it. This is 3 years, and the voice got maybe a tiny bit deeper, but nothing on the face looks different, which is really blowing my mind. Plus, these kids aren't talking about, like, how do you feel? Are you getting checkups? Are you going to the gynecologist? I didn't suffer and talk about all the things that happened to me as a transsexual, so these kids could just go and pull it back a million years and pretend like nothing bad is going to happen to their bodies. So much stuff is going to happen to these young girls who are taking testosterone. You just watch. It's a train wreck. You know what I mean? How they always say it's a train wreck, because it does. It did really not great things to my body, but as the same, it did do great things for me visually. But we're not talking about the internal damage, 32 years of testosterone. I knock on wood, as my dad would say, I'm really lucky, because not a lot of bad stuff has happened to me. One really bad thing was the vaginal atrophy. But other than that, I've been really lucky. And it's because I stopped drinking. I stopped doing drugs. I exercise regularly. I eat extremely healthy. And I think it's why I sort of feel healthy at 63. I don't even know what that means. I'll be honest with you guys and girls and people. I don't know what it means to be 63. I don't even understand those numbers, because whenever you would think about 63, somehow you would think like an old fart, right? Like, oh, you're 63. You're like, I do not feel like that. I do not feel, thank you so much again for all the birthday wishes. I do not feel 63. I mean, I feel more healthy in my life at 63, mentally, physically, my outlook on life. I don't even know what to tell you all, other than it really means that you've got to take care of your own self. No, just don't even get involved with other people's bullshit, if that makes sense, right? Like, just take care of yourself. And when you start to take care of yourself, so many great things happen to you. And, mentally, it's hard to do the work I do. I won't lie to you. It's not easy sometimes, me sort of kind of making fun of these trans people, or even saying the things I need to say. But I know in my heart of hearts that I have to. I couldn't live with myself if I didn't say the things I need to say here. And on the flip side of that, I think one of the most important things that I think a lot of you who come here and are regulars and understand, and again, thank you to the new people coming to show up. I think one of the great things you all understand is that I am for real, and this did help me. And you can't deny 32 years of transition time and pretend like people like me don't exist. And that was one of the really sort of more powerful things of what we have built here. We built a bridge to understand each other. I understand why you wouldn't want to believe this could help somebody. I totally understand that. But at the same time, you're all willing to open your heart to me and say, well, look here, Buck, I don't push this on you. I don't believe children can do this. I think it is a very rare thing. I think you have to go through a lot of mental health care, years of it, before you can even touch what I did. I think you have to be an adult. You cannot just tell somebody to do this. It is so disgusting. Once you start taking care of yourself, life gets better. It's so true, mentally and physically. We are not pushing enough mental health care. We've got to push mental health care. People are losing their shit. Not just trans people. Not just trans people, but like everyone is. So I thought today I really wanted to share some of my photos of my life to this point on some level. And I think it really will show you. You know, I struggled. I'm going to keep going back. I struggled as a kid, you guys. I struggled. Hi, Australia. Thanks for joining us. I struggled. I'm never going to deny that. I don't know what the struggle was. I never said I'm a boy. I never said that when I was a kid. I think I said I want to be a boy. I don't know. I can't remember. I always trip out on people who say, when I was 2, when you were 2, you remember when you were 2? I don't remember when I was 2. So I get information from my parents, and one of the things my parents said to me, they said, when you were like about 4 years old, you said you would want to put your dad's underwear on and put these little cowboy boots they bought me, and then I would just be like, I'm a boy. But that just is very normal. I think a lot of girls do that, and a lot of boys. I think it's interesting that some people can remember when they're 2. I cannot remember that at all. But my parents said that I always was leaning towards this very masculine space. I have 2 sisters. I have an older sister and a younger sister, and I am in the middle. And they just were normal girls for some. I wanted all the boy toys. I wanted to be the boy of the family. I wanted to do all these things. So that's why I think eventually this happened to me. Who knows? Could it be social? I don't know. Hey, Pepper, got out of a bad relationship, took time for myself. That's right. So let me start with this picture. I found baby pictures, but baby pictures are lame, I think, right? I think baby pictures, like, who cares? To me, all babies look the same. Yeah, I think it's amazing. My first memory is 3. My first memory is 5. That's crazy. I mean, good for you guys. I don't remember any of that, okay? Buck, I wore my mom's clothes and my dad's cowboy boots, so I don't think it matters. That's right. My parents never called me trans. That wasn't even in the language, thank God. Thank the universe that they weren't calling kids trans back in the day. But, so I'm going to start with this picture. From my own memory, this was... here, let me bring this up here. Not that one. This one. I mean, look at it. It's, oh my God. Just take it in. Take it in. It takes a lot to share your older pictures, just so you know, everybody. I want you to know that I love you. And you all mean the world to me. But it takes a lot to share your pictures of when you were a girl. It all comes down to maturity and really just understanding that, I'm not a man. This is how I started out. So take that in for a minute while I have a sip of my coffee, my birthday coffee. So I remember specifically this picture, and let me tell you a little bit about this picture. No, it doesn't bother me. No, great question. It doesn't bother me at all. It doesn't bother me. You know why it doesn't bother me? It would have bothered me probably 10 or 15 or 20 years ago. It doesn't bother me anymore because I think through this fight for women's rights and kids and all of this trans insanity, it really did good things for me, the fight that we're in. It actually made me come to a realization that I'm not a man. I used to think that. I will never deny that. I used to call myself a man with a vagina. I did all of that stuff. I did it all. I did it all because I thought I had a sex change. I actually did because the community says you're changing your sex. So I actually thought, oh, because I changed my ID and I changed my birth certificate and I actually thought that I became a man. But it wasn't through this sort of fight here with all of you that I sort of realized, why do I have to deny why do I have to deny myself? Why do I have to deny my biology? It's not transphobic to deny your biology. It's just not. Hey, Justin, thank you. Hillabuk, did I read that right? You're turning, 63. Happy birthday. So happy to be part of this community. I love you too, Justin. Thank you, friend. And happy birthday back to you. So I think it's really interesting how this actual fight helped me be able to share those photos with you. And it's done wonders for me as a human being. And it's done wonders for me as a transsexual, because what it has done is it's put reality back in my life. And the reality that comes with that is, hey, dude, you didn't change your sex. You can't change your sex. Why is that a bad thing? Why is it a bad thing? Well, it's not. Hey, Martin, thank you, friend. Buck, I'm from Peru, and the government this year wanted to include trans people who struggle with their dysphoria and declared that dysphoria is a mental health issue. But of course they went crazy, Martin, which is ridiculous. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. No, this is a mental health issue. I mean, what is wrong with saying that, everybody? So that's the point I'm trying to make here. This picture would have really bothered me many years ago because I was part of that community that gaslights you and makes you think that, oh, dude, no, you're a man. You're a man. You became a man. Don't let people tell you you're not. It's transphobic. It's not, oh, thank you for the birthday wishes, everybody. I am. I'm actually treating myself. I have some good news to tell you all. Tell me when you want me to share it with you. I have some actually insane, the most amazing birthday present ever. It might make me cry because I'm not big crybaby, but the reality of that picture there, that's me. That's not a boy. That's not a boy. That is not a boy. That is a girl. That is a girl. I was not born a boy. I've never been born a boy. Okay, you all want me to tell you the news. Okay. It's actually pretty insane, the news. Okay, are you ready for it? I was going to hold out, but I thought it would be awesome to share with you all. So I think you all know that I think I've been talking about it for over a year now, that I wanted to adopt a baby. And I got a lot of pushback from people. You're 62, you can't adopt a baby. You're too old, you can't do that. And I just want to remind you all, you can't tell me not to do something, because if you tell me not to do something, I'm going to do it. So thank you, Pepper. I'm going to do it. So don't tell me I can't do it, because I can do whatever I want. So that being said, my partner and I we joined an adoption agency, an amazing adoption agency. Actually, I don't know if you know, but it's super, super. Hey, Lizzie girl, it's super. Oh, thank you, Lizzie, for that. Thank you, Fred. Happy birthday, Buck. I come on today so I could be with you. Oh, you're so sweet. So I know you haven't been around. I hope you're okay, friend. I care about you. Thank you. So we joined an adoption agency, okay? And it's not, let me just tell you something. Those adoption agencies are hardcore. I had to go through a whole FBI background check. I had to they come to your house, they check your house, they look at who you are. I'm obviously had to be very open about me and who I am and what I do, right? Thank you, friend. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. So anyway, let me just get to the point here. Well, that's a great point. Michael asks, why didn't I foster? Well, I went through the foster system. Okay. I don't know if you've ever been and took classes in a foster space. I couldn't even handle like the first hour of the introduction. It was so mind-blowingly scary. And nope, fostering kids was not for me. Nope. You want to know why? I'll tell you the number one reason why. They want you to give the kids back to the abusive family. What? Why am I fostering this kid who's been abused by this family? And then I'm going to do all this work with this kid, and then you're going to give it back to the abusive family? Nope. I tapped out on that one. I tapped out. I'm like, no way. I'm not fostering kids. I'll help. Whatever. Thank you, friend. Thank you, Kimbot. So listen. So we got the news, and we got a baby. It sounds so weird. No, a mother. So wait, let me just backtrack. Mothers pick you. So we go in this whole system, this database with all these other parents, right? And like all normal like parents, and then there's me and my partner, and we just look kind of crazy. And she's a filmmaker, and I'm like, I don't know, I don't even know. I didn't call myself an influencer. I said I work on the internet, and I'm transsexual, and blah blah blah. You have to be like super open about who you are, and this is who we are. And you take pictures, you put like a website together. And then there's these mothers who don't want to keep their babies for whatever reason. No judgment, no judgment at all, but they want to give the baby away. It's called an open adoption, right? And so they pick the family that goes where the baby goes. So it was a year. We were in the system for a year. And I just kept saying to her, we're not going to get a baby. I just don't believe anyone's going to pick us. We look too crazy. Yeah, I have a kid already with my partner it's her biological kid. But anyway, I'm already a dad. I'm a stepdad. This time I won't be a stepdad. I'll actually be a dad this time. So that being said, I just thought no one would pick us. I just actually kind of resigned. I resigned to the fact that we're not going to get a baby. No one's going to pick us. We're too crazy. We work in Hollywood, and I have tattoos, and I'm a transsexual, and like blah blah blah. And then the news came, and we got a baby. And so I just wanted to share that all with you because I couldn't ask for a more. I'd pick you. People keep saying that to me. I'd pick you, dude. Because that baby's going to be so spoiled. So guess what? Guess what gender the baby is? Can anyone guess what gender the baby is? Not that it matters to me. I would take either gender, honestly. Can you guess what gender the baby is? So I mean, it's actually I want to like have tears in my eyes because I can't believe it. I just can't believe it. I'm gonna get a baby. So I'll let three of you, girl, boy, little girl. Oh, thanks, Pepper. Thank you, Pepper. Girl, boy, girl. I think most people are saying girl. Thank you, Ian. Girl. It's a baby girl. It's a baby girl. Oh, and I'm going to make her a badass. I'm going to make this girl a little badass. I got plans. I got plans. I'm getting straight into the sports. I'm just kidding. But you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm going to make this girl, I'm going to just give this girl so much love and so much you're who you ever want to be, kiddo. You're a girl, and that's all you need to know. And you go to the world and you be a badass girl and a bigger badass woman. So yeah, it's so amazing. And so I couldn't ask for a better birthday present than that, of course. So the baby is due late August, and so it's the baby mama lives in another state. So, we are going to be part of the birth, and we get to be there during the birth. Okay. And we get to sort of so it's kind of interesting because what's the coolest thing about adopting? And it's called open adoption. If you don't know about open adoption, is that the mom picks us, number one. Number two, we keep the mom in our life for about a year. Okay, so about a year. Oh, thank you, Justin. Here's a public confession. I find a trans woman that passed really well and did not believe she was a real woman. I'd actually date her, but she'd have to. Yeah, that's okay. There's nothing weird about that at all. It's totally normal. It's totally normal. Completely. I don't see an adoption. Oh, you're an adoptee yourself. That's awesome. Congratulations. I hope that you had a really good family that cared about you. Oh, who adopted a foster child. Right on. Right on. Excellent, you guys. Are you going to name her? Yeah, of course. We're going to name her. But I was thinking to keep the mother involved in naming so that the mom totally feels involved. I don't want the mom not to feel involved in the child's life, if that makes sense. So the kid is going to know they're adopted all the time. The kid is going to have all the opportunity to meet their mom if the mom wants to meet and all of that. It's never ever going to be secret. Yeah, the mom's been going to the doctor. We've been helping with that. We've been helping with, her being taken care of. And, you have to really sort of help this person along. A lot of times people don't have the means to care for themselves. So, there's a whole thing involved in adopting through open adoption. And sometimes people don't have the means to take care of themselves. So you sort of contribute to making sure that the mother is kept healthy during and after this time. So it's really a very fascinating experience that I'm going to document, because I think it just, I think the also reason I wanted to tell you all this was because don't forget, I'm a transsexual. The woman who chose us to take her baby knows that I'm a transsexual. Does she even care? She's just a straight woman. No, she didn't care about any of that. So it's why I keep wanting to push these sort of barriers that the trans community puts up. People don't like us. Nope, that's not true. When you are open and honest about who you are, people are open and honest back to you. Okay, so here I am. Here I am as a little girl. Okay, thank you, Samantha. Here I am as a little girl, not a little boy, a little girl. I don't know if you can kind of see a little bit of a struggle in me. Do you guys see a little struggle in me? Oh, thank you guys for the super stickers. Thank you. Thank you guys. Thank you very much for helping support the channel. It means a lot. It does. It does. Always like how Jennifer Ashley rang. Congratulations. Right on. So I wasn't a boy. I never was a boy. I'm not a man. The reality of looking at your old pictures is why it's important. And I think a lot of the young generation they call it their dead name, and then they won't look at any of their old stuff, right? Because they don't want people to see that. So, and they can't be honest to themselves. My milestone is tomorrow, 60 years old. I'm going to consider you getting your baby. So, yay! Congratulations. Anne's birthday is tomorrow, the same day as mine. My birthday is actually tomorrow, but we're celebrating it today. Yeah, I don't think I look miserable either. I can remember feeling sad for some reasons. Buck, I have half sister who my mom gave her up through closed adoption back in 1968. And 25 years, I found my half sister. See, that's why they used to do that closed adoption, which I personally don't necessarily think it's healthy. And I think a lot of people suffered from that because, they felt unwanted. They felt kids felt, I don't ever want this baby to feel unwanted. And I want this baby to know that the mother had to give her up because the mother wasn't in a position to take care of the baby. And that is one of the most important things that we must talk about. Adoption is a good thing, and it should always be a good thing. It should never be a secret thing. I knew someone who placed her baby for adoption in Tennessee. The adoptive parents were able to take the baby home. Yeah, I'm going straight to the hospital to take the baby. Yes, thank you for the super sticker. So I wanted to start with that picture, okay? Now, let's go to another picture. This is me 10 years old. Do you see what I'm wearing there? Can you all see what I'm wearing? Oh, no, Patricia, I'm not doing that. I'm writing my book, so all these pictures are up. I'm not doing that. I wasn't a sad kid. I had an awesome childhood. I want everybody to know I did not have a bad childhood. I had a kick butt childhood. My parents were awesome. I did not have a bad childhood. So I don't want anybody to ever think that, because some people think, oh, you must have had a bad childhood. You must have struggled. I didn't struggle. My parents let me wear boy clothes. But here, look, I want you to see, I'm wearing a swimming suit. I'm wearing a girl's swimsuit. No, it's a two-piece thing. You know what I'm saying? A two-piece. Yeah. And I don't seem like I'm struggling at all, because I'm not struggling. There will be times when I wanted to wear boy clothes, and I think other times I wanted to wear girl clothes. I'll be honest with you. The times that really bothered me to wear the more girl clothes was when I had to go to church and I had one dress, right? I think it's a motorcycle cake. The cake has a motorcycle let me explain the cake. So at this age, my dad bought us all motorcycles. Okay, so me and my two sisters and my dad, we all had our own motorcycles. And so we would go to the desert every week, not every weekend, like maybe once or twice a month. And we would put them all in this cool van that my dad bought. And then we would all go to the desert and we would all go motorcycle riding. Remember, I have two sisters. So 3 girls. We were all raised super butch. And I loved, oh my God, it was some of the most amazing times of my life going to the desert and riding motorcycles as a 10-year-old and learning how to I actually learned how to change the oil in the bike, all of it. Like my dad taught us how to do all of this stuff. So that cake has a tiny little motorcycle on it. And then the desert with the cactus, it's emulating where we would go riding in the desert about an hour from Los Angeles, where I grew up. And then, we that was just so there I am, a girl with a cake that's very masculine. And then I was riding motorcycles at 10. And I'm telling y'all, I don't want you to think I had a bad childhood. I had an amazing childhood. My parents really cared about us and did the best they. My parents aren't rich. Both my parents worked. I was a latchkey kid on some level, right? My parents didn't give us everything. We had to work for things. I had to do all the normal things that kids have to do. Sometimes my parents weren't around, so that my parents were party animals. So my parents threw parties. My parents were like the hip parents on the block, right? I had a swimming pool, and all the kids would come to my house to be in the swimming pool, and that's where you see my birthday party was in our backyard at the swimming pool. Again, I had a lot of masculine stuff, and there were times I couldn't stand dressing like a girl, but then there were times I did it. So everything isn't black and white. Everything, just because a kid maybe plays with boy clothes or girl clothes, or it doesn't mean anything. It means nothing. It just means they're kids who are kind of playing all over the place. So I'm going to fast forward here because I could only pick like 10 pictures. I'm going to fast forward here, and all this is going to hopefully be fit into my book. But so this next one I want to show you. So this is me in high school. Yeah, this is me, and I think this is like I'm 17. You all, I hope, are sitting down. I hope you're all sitting down because this picture is so dated. It's going to blow your mind. Okay, ready? Here we go. This one, this is my driver. This is my ID card. I think from school or something. But this is literally, I can't believe all the pictures I kept. I don't know how through my weird, crazy life of homelessness and all kinds of shit. I don't know how I have these pictures, but somehow my parents kept, this is me. I just love this picture so much. Oh my God. It's the haircut, the glasses. I think it was my ID from high school or something. I think it's genius. I mean, here's the other thing that happens with age. With age, you just don't give a shit anymore. You don't care anymore. And you can laugh at yourself. And you can laugh at the progression of how, when you're in it and you're 20, you're like, ugh. Everything sucks. And then when you get, that 70s, I'm literally in the 70s, it's just the greatest thing about the freckles disappeared eventually, but it's also, I think they're a little blown out there because of the picture. I think I still have them. But they got mugshot. Feels like a mugshot. But one of the great things also about being older is you just think it's funny, but you just forget when you're 20. And that's why when these kids argue with me about, that I become transphobic and I don't care, it's kind of funny to me because they just don't realize what they're saying. And when they get old enough, they're going to be so embarrassed to say the things they say to me. But I just love this picture because let me ask you the question. Do I look like a girl or a boy there? Or do I look like you would not, if I walked into your shop somewhere, would you think that I was a boy or would you think I was a girl? Or would you call me she or would you call me he? Without me opening my mouth, what would you think there? A dude. Most people thought I was a dude. 100%. Pepper says, funny, my parents... A boy. I know. Thank you. Oh, wait, I wanted to show. Pepper said something. I missed it. Sorry, Pepper. I can't. Here it is. Funny, my parents. Funny what parents keep. My mom kept a high school project that I complete. I know. I have so many crazy things. Oh, I also threw a bunch of stuff out. So that I wanted to share with you because I thought it was quite a cool picture. So now this is out. Now I'm going out. I'm obviously fast forwarding to certain parts of my life. Right. So I just want you all to know this misgendering crap, right? Come on, man. All of it, not all of us, but many people who aren't trans get misgendered. It's not relegated to trans people, just so you know. Many butch women got misgendered. Many feminine men get misgendered to this day. So this idea of misgendering is such a crock of shit, and it's really victimized little young people to think that people are doing it on purpose, right? So here comes to the next one. So now I'm out of high school. I struggle. I get sober, okay? I model. Well, here, let me find the modeling pictures because that actually comes first. Here, this is one of my very first modeling pictures. Oh, and you can see it's all faded because it was literally taken in like the 80s. And you can see that I'm so uncomfortable. I hated it. Oh my God. So let me give you a little background on this. So out of high school, I'm just struggling doing my thing, whatever. And some dude, like, this is actually real, like saw me on Hollywood Boulevard and was like, gave his card to my girlfriend at the time and was like, dude, you could be a model. And I was like, get away from me, dude. Because what you see here is not me, okay? So what you see here is not me. This is me being made up. I'm that other picture. So then he's like, dude, you could do anyway, my girlfriend's like, you got to do it. So I get forced into taking these pictures. These pictures are like some of my very first modeling pictures. And don't I look so uncomfortable? They literally placed my hand like this, right? Because I don't know how to act like a girl. And like this. And I remember putting my legs and my feet and everything. It's so crazy. Just literally that story of being discovered. And eventually my pictures got sent into an agency. And eventually I got a phone call. And eventually they were like, can you come in and see us? And then eventually I was with Elite Model Management, which is like one of the biggest agencies. It's actually crazy. My modeling story is going to blow your mind in my book. It just, how it happened is literally like right out of a book because it's just weird. I'm so uncomfortable. This is 1980, maybe 83 or 84. And then I remember specifically, they're so obsessed with me, the modeling people. They wanted to make me a supermodel so bad. They were like, I was literally like remember Gia, I think her name is? And I was literally around that whole time of fashion models who were androgynous. I was one of those very first androgynous. I mean, they had high hopes for me, and I had no hopes for me. I had no hopes for me. I was like, let me out of this hellhole. I don't want to. So you were 10 in 84. That I know I'm 63 tomorrow. So anyway, blah, blah, long story short, I just somehow get sucked into it. And then I remember like this weird thing started happening where, okay, so I'm going to strip back and forth. So then I get sober. Okay. So I actually start to get sober. And then this is me. This is how I looked out of makeup. Okay. So here I am in makeup. Okay. And then here I am out of makeup all this time. And I remember this was my very first truck I bought all by myself because I had gotten sober. And then I got a job at a high fashion shop here in Los Angeles. I'm not going to tell you the name of it, but I worked in a very, very, very exclusive shop here in Los Angeles in the warehouse. Look at me in the warehouse. And then I bought my first truck. And I think this was a 1978 Ford truck. And this is like in the 80s, the mid 80s. And this is me driving around LA in my truck and look at my butch shaved off hair. And so I was just kind of getting into the modeling thing, but I didn't want to do it, right? That's a cutoff. What do you call it? A flannel, because I'm a super dyke. And that's my cutoff flannel. Oh, it's just crazy, you guys. So super butch. Did I ever tell you the story real quick here? When I started doing this modeling, this is how I looked. And then what they have is they're called go-sees or casting. And then your agency tells you got to show up for for the Tide commercial or for the perfume commercial, right? And then you have a thing that's called a book. And then the book, it's an actual like book, right? And then in the book is all your pictures. So you have all these different, like, I have pictures like, sorry, I have pictures like, where is that picture? I have this picture, and then I have this picture, right? And then just different styles that you can model. So I remember going to this one go-see here in Los Angeles, and I walk in, hey, Courtney, great to see you. Thanks for being here. Yeah, lookbook. That's right. And then I would go in, I go into this one casting, and I had just started, and I was wearing a suit and a bow tie. I'll never forget. I'm short. I'm only 5'8". I'm telling you, Martin, like they wanted me to be a model so bad. I was a short model, but I was so androgynous that they were obsessed with me. So yeah, I was in a bunch of music videos. Oh my God, I bet so much to tell you. It would take hours to tell you everything. Anyway, this one time I go in and I'm dressed like a little dude, and I'll never forget when you sign in, and there was a lady there, and she said to me, "Oh, you're in the wrong casting, sir," or something like basically that. And then I was like, no, I'm actually in the right, but my voice was not like this. It was like a girl, more of a female voice. And then she looked at me. I said, no, I'm actually a female. And she looked at me all crazy. And then I sat down with all of the hot models. Remember, I'm a total les at the time. And I'm looking at all these hot models, and my face must have turned bright red because I'm just like, oh my God. And then I'll never forget, they snatched my book from me, all the hot models, and they were just like going nuts in my book. They were like, oh my God, this is amazing. You're so amazing. You're so hot. And I was just like, I was shy. I'm not the same dude. And it was just like the most crazy thing in the world, because then that kind of got me to like modeling. That kind of got me to like modeling, because I'm like, I'm going to be around all these hot chicks who totally like me. And anyway, so I thought that was a pretty funny story. And so then I go from this working at this shop, getting sober, doing all these things, right, and modeling. And then I meet this this woman at, I forgot where, but she was at the what's the design center, art center here in Pasadena. That's a big deal. And I became her sort of muse. And she became a huge director. She directed, I think, 2 Madonna videos. And she became like a super commercial big artist. But when she was in school, I became her muse, and she did all of her projects. Oh, thank you for the birthday wishes, everybody. She did all her projects on me. This was in the early 80s, and they were all like these androgynous, crazy photos. Wait till you see them all. They're pretty amazing. I have so many of them, but this was one of them. And then I was of course, it's a fake mustache. I haven't even started hormones yet. I'm pretty much like in the early 80s here, right? And so always everything was about me being masculine. So then let me move forward. So then I get into elite model management. It's called New Faces. And New Faces, part of elite model management, was for newer, younger models coming in, and more like different models, right? So then I want to show you this, because I found this to be, I think you guys will love this. So here's my card. So when you go, back in the day, you had what was called a card. And it's sort of like you always left it. When you went to a go-see or to a casting, you had like your card, and it had your name on it, and then it had all your sizes on it, and it had on one side it has 2 pictures, and on the other side it has 2 other pictures, right? And so this was one side of the card, so that I could show 2 different looks. Is it so 80s? I could show 2 different looks. So I could show my very boyish look here, right? And then I could show my more feminine sort of, if you call that feminine. I look at it now and I'm just thinking, I look crazy. I look comfortable in the boy one, I think. I always liked modeling the boy clothes. But whenever I had to model the girl clothes, I was so disgusted and like, I think my dysphoria would come out. And, I just hated it so much. But you know what I'm remembering now? See how when you start talking about things, you start to remember things more. I actually didn't get sober yet. I didn't. I think what was happening was this picture here came after all the modeling pictures. So what happened was I was modeling. See, I totally now remember my story now. And I started doing this picture, but I was actually using alcohol and started doing cocaine because cocaine was ever present. So I didn't get sober until this picture. Okay, which was near the ending of my modeling situation. So this picture, then my card, and now I'm full blown modeling. Here's where I'm full blown modeling, and I'm not sober yet. Okay, so I'm full blown modeling, and I'm doing drugs. And I remember, okay, so I'm gonna bring up this next picture. Are you all done taking this in? Take this in, because the next one is actually gonna mess you up. The next one's gonna mess you up. So here I am, full blown modeling. Yeah, a lot of people would say Annie Lennox to me, okay? The modeling world is insane, you guys. Oh, do I have stories? Boom. Boom. So they always wanted to just put so much makeup on my face. It was so, I hated it so much. So I would literally have to get drunk or snort cocaine or do something that would sort of disconnect. That's why you get drunk and do drugs, so you can disconnect from reality. And the reality was I hated it. I hated it. It was horrifying. But if you're high and you're drunk, you can pretty much do anything as an addict. And so I'm just totally wasted. And as my progression of my alcoholism and my drug addiction happened, they decided that they wanted to send me to Europe. So next thing you know, I'm on a plane to London. And in London, I go with an agency called Z. Okay, they call Z in the UK. All my UK people here, they call Z. Here in America, they call it Z. In the UK, they call it Z. So the agency was called Z. It was Z. And I was one of the first sort of androgynous models with them. They were new, up and coming. Then I get there, and I'm very shy, you guys. I know it's hard to believe, but this person that you see right here was one of the most shy. It was so hard for me. I have to tell you, I had the hardest time with it because it was hard for me to travel. It was hard for me to talk to people. It was hard for me to function in the world. I don't know if anyone in this room has ever been just debilitatingly shy. It's not fun. It's horrible. And I was just horribly disconnected from myself. And I get to London and I'm just totally getting wasted, you guys. I'm getting wasted. I'm getting into fist fights with dudes, and I was showing up to like castings with black eyes and like totally like drinking. It's just so crazy, you guys. Wow. So what eventually came to me was the agency dropped me. The agency dropped me, and because I wasn't showing up and I wasn't making an effort and I was always drunk and I was just a mess and I was too shy and I couldn't do it. And deep inside my body, I didn't want to do it, but I had so many people pressuring me to do it. And so many people telling me you're going to be a supermodel. And so many people telling me that I'm going to be somebody. And so many people, everyone telling me everything they wanted, but not what I wanted. And I never wanted to be a model. I never wanted to be this. This was not something, but people would say, oh my God, so many women, so many girls would give their left arm for this. And so the privilege you have to be this, they would sort of gaslight you in this way. And yeah, Pepper, I know a lot of people said I look like Pink or Bridget, what's her name, Nielsen, and all of that. But anyway, it was difficult, you guys. It's a very sensitive space for me because this represents a very difficult time of my life when I was struggling a lot with my dysphoria, but at the same time having to present as a female. And I just walked this line that was so difficult because, I couldn't wait to put these clothes on, but then I would be looking like that and people would just be like, oh my God, you look amazing. Oh my God, you're going to be, oh my God. And I was just like, I want to die. Give me a drink. Where's the Coke? Like, you know what I mean? And I mean, I can't really say a lot here on YouTube just because I think the rules changed. That's what I think. Oh, thank you, Christ Kitty. Thank you. Thank you. I do appreciate it. So I look either way. I love people just, I think some people don't, yeah, but I appreciate that. Thank you. So it just was hard for me, you guys. It was very hard. I went through a lot. I went through a lot of emotional pain. I went through a lot of self destruction. I did a lot of bad things to myself. I ended up in very bad places. I ended up with men doing very bad things to me. I ended up doing it just because you don't even know what you're doing, and you all know what I'm talking about. And I ended up with men taking advantage of me, and as this person that you see right here, okay, and being put in positions that I wasn't able to get out of because I was either too drunk or too high, and then thinking I needed to do these things in order to get to the next space. I mean, wow, you just wait, because I can put it all in my book, okay? I can put it all in my book, but I can't necessarily tell you all here. And I struggled. It's not a bad thing. I'm here at 63. That's why I keep telling you all, I can't believe I made it to 63, because if anyone shouldn't have made it to 63, it's probably me. So it's why I value my time with all of you, and that you hear what I'm saying, and that you also really respect my desire to transition and to live this life. And I feel like I'm fighting not for my life anymore. I don't feel that. But what I do feel like I'm doing today is I feel that I'm fighting for people who have struggled like myself in a space that says, you can become who you need to become, but you've got to be honest with yourself. And I think too many kids. Oh, thanks for gifting a membership. Thank you. Thank you for supporting the channel. It does mean a lot to me. Thank you. So hold on, you guys. Okay. So I wanted to just bring this up here. Thank you. So, I think that's why I really do feel like I have to be saying the things I say and be sort of hated on some level by a community that I feel is very disingenuous. Because if they actually cared about transsexualism, they would see my story, and they would know that my story does matter in the scope of transitioning and why people do need to do this. And I don't believe that these children, the majority of these kids, are not trans at all. And even if they are trans, they need to wait. Okay, you need to wait. I don't care what you say. You need to wait. You can't have it. Okay, you just can't have it. Since when do we just give kids things that they want? That is actually insane. Oh, thank you, Martin, for becoming a new member. Thank you guys so much for supporting the channel. So anyway, my point being is I made it here. I made it here to say this. There's no doubt in my mind. I made it through that insane struggle to get here today. Not to have a YouTube channel, but to literally say, what you see is happening is not real. That is not trans. I maybe struggled with dysphoria, gender dysphoria, but as you see, I got through a lot of it. I dealt with drugs and alcohol for other reasons, not just my dysphoria, for all kinds of reasons. I was dealing with my sexuality. I keep telling you all, it's not just my gender dysphoria I struggle with. I struggle with my sexuality. This girl, me, was attracted to girls, okay? I was attracted to girls, and it was so difficult in the 80s and the 70s and even the 60s to have this conversation with anybody and to even say. And so I struggled a lot to be in the modeling industry, and all these hot chicks are around me, and I'm just like, and it wasn't okay to be a les. It was not okay to be a les. So anyway, I think I'm just kind of speaking, but I want to show you a couple more things here before. So then I became me. That's me. Same person. Same exact person. Not a different person. Still a female. Didn't change my sex. That's me modeling. So there I am, obviously on is it your left? That's me modeling right there. Okay, see the androgyny? And then here's me, probably my first 10 years. I was trying to build my muscle. I still didn't have a lot of muscle. This is my first maybe 10 years on testosterone, okay? So look at the change. I lost my hair. I don't know if you could see the difference in my nose, right? My nose grew. These are the things that actually happen from testosterone. You can see a difference in it seems like my whole head got bigger. It seems like my head got fatter. My shoulders got bigger because I started lifting weights. But this is what I was when I was a model. And this is how they let me sort of, when I got to wear these kind of clothes, I was the happiest person in the world. But when I had to wear the woman's clothes, I just couldn't handle it. I couldn't handle it. It was horrifying. So I was constantly being sort of fed this thing back and forth, and it really messed with my head. And then eventually I got sent back to the United States from this. I got sent back this modeling career. They were over me. I was not doing well. I was not showing up for my casting career castings. I was not participating in modeling. Why are they going to waste their time with me? So I got sent back to the United States and I had nowhere to go. My family, I think, had already disowned me. I had nobody, I had very few friends. Long story short, I ended up homeless. I ended up homeless. I ended up doing bad things, all be in my book. I ended up drinking and smoking drugs and don't even know how I survived that. I actually don't. I always believe, whatever you want to call that thing up there, higher power, God, the universe, whatever you want to call it, it's there. And I believe that if you're open to receiving that, you'll be able to move forward. Struggle is something we all do. It's not relegated to any one kind of person. I don't care if you're the richest man in the world. You aren't going to struggle on some level. My struggle is not your struggle, and your struggle is not my struggle. But struggle is struggle. And struggle does build character. And if you're trying to say that these kids who are so-called trans are not supposed to struggle, then you're doing a disservice to these children. Because what you're telling these children is that they can literally just change their sex, that life is not a struggle, that all the lies and deceit that you're handing these children is probably one of the most actually dangerous things you could do to a young person. You've got to let kids and young people find their own space, and you can't hold their hand through it. You cannot hold their hand. You've got to let them go at some time, and you've got to let them find it through maybe struggle or maybe bad things that might happen to them. Sorry, but that's literally the world. So I'm going to show you this last picture. As I got sober and as I got the job at that shop I was telling you about, and I started to really clean myself up, and I started to feel better about myself, and my brain started to open up, and I started to understand that, I feel like a man. That's what I used to say. I don't know what that means today at 63. Doesn't mean anything. But when you're in your late 20s and you're struggling and you say, I feel like a man, because you don't have the language to say, like, maybe I just want to look differently or whatever needs to be done. And I finally found a therapist in my sobriety who started to work with me and really sort of talk to me about what all this meant. And that gave me the opportunity to find an endocrinologist here in Los Angeles who helped me 32 years ago. In April, it was 33 years, and I just started to try this testosterone thing out, and I never looked back. And so I really want the people here who think people like me don't exist to hear that story and to say, I made it to 63 years old. I started to transition at 30 after a life of many ups and downs. And it has done wonders for me. Okay. And I don't need to lie to any of you about that, because why would I lie to you about it? Also, number one. Number two, I'm a female. So I'm not trying to say anything other than that. Other than this female person you see in these pictures I showed you today was dealing with a lot of social anxiety, sexuality stuff, just pressures from the world, until I got old enough to make a choice that made my life incredibly better. I kept sober. I created a space for myself. I'm my own businessman. I didn't graduate high school. I was always called a dummy. You're never going to amount to anything. I mean, so many people can't even believe I'm still alive. So that's sort of why I do the things I do out here, is because I want you to see that you can't deny that transsexualism is a thing. It's a very small thing. And there are adults who very much, we have another one in the room today, Samantha, I think a couple others, right? Christ Kitty and a couple others who really benefited from transition as adults. And all of us fight for this space, but we also fight to say there's no such thing as a trans kid. There is not. I was not a trans child. Okay? Let me just remind you. I was not a trans child. I was a little girl, okay, who was a tomboy, who wanted to wear boy clothes and skateboard with the boys and ride motorcycles and have a G.I. Joe and all those things and be called the boy name and all of that kind of stuff. But I was not a trans kid. So don't ever say that to me, because then you're rewriting my own story. And that is something I will not tolerate, okay? So with that, there's one last photo I want to show you. After all the photos I showed you today, right? I want to show you this last photo. And this is what I wanted to achieve, okay? From this little girl, I didn't know anything about transitioning, okay? This little girl knew nothing, thank God, about transitioning, went through all of that stuff, and got to this point in my life. This photo I'm going to show you is really one of the bigger highlights of my, when I really started to get into my body and really feel very secure in myself. And oh, thanks, Melissa, for being thanks for becoming a member. I appreciate that a lot. Thanks you all for supporting. So here it comes. And then to me. That's it. That's a little bit of my story today. And that is what I wanted to achieve. What you see in that picture took a lot. Took a lot of effort, took a lot of sobriety, took a lot of testosterone. It took a lot of weightlifting. It took a lot of wanting to be me and not caring what anybody else thought about me. And I think that's the message I leave with you all today. Who cares what people think about you? Who cares if people have ideas about you? Do you know who you are? And if you don't know who you are, go figure out who you are. But don't do it on other people's time. Do it on your own time. And you know what's so scary is that the social media platforms have pushed a lot of people into this idea that you have to conform. It's come back all the way back around again to conforming. Transgender is now conforming, when transgender was never conforming. It was all about becoming your true, authentic self. It is no longer that. It is now, if you don't do X, Y, and Z, you are not part of. That is not anything to do with transitioning. Transitioning is figuring out how to make yourself happy by looking the way a transsexual person wants to look, like a man or a woman, period. All the other stuff over there is an ideological identity choice. Remember, this is not necessarily my identity. It is what I've always felt I wanted the world to see. And when I walk down the street, what do people see? A dude. That's all I ever wanted. That's all I ever wanted. And there it is. And that's it. And, you know, take your own journey, people. Stop telling everyone else how to do it, and understand the difference between a transsexual and a transgender. And you will actually start to disassociate from that ideological space. And you might not even be trans. You might just be a very gender nonconforming human being who wants to walk the world in a very androgynous space that I did for many years of my life. I walked as an androgynous person. You saw me there. And it was totally okay. And I had no issues about it. Okay? It wasn't until I got older and things started happening. But come on, people. We need to save these kids from these adults putting nonsense in their heads. Okay? And I am one of the oldest transsexuals on the planet today. And so I'm not just saying this to say it. I'm saying it because I care. And I'm saying it because it did do amazing things for me. It did wonders for me. But I will not tolerate young people being put into a... Can you imagine if I did this at 20? Oh my God. What? No turning back. I'm not going back to that girl. It's never happening ever again. Never going back to that girl. Okay? So thanks everybody for all of your amazing birthday wishes. I made it to 63. Tomorrow's my actual birthday. I wanted to share a little bit of my life story with you all today. So if you came late, you're welcome to go back and watch some of this. I'm writing my book. I'm going to be getting a mailing list together. And if you want to be on the mailing list, so when we get the book ready to go, I can mail out to you. And, it will be hugely appreciated, the support of my book, because it's been very difficult for me to get my book out there, because I have a lot of people trying to block my book from coming out because they don't want to hear the story of my life, because it doesn't coincide with the transgender agenda. And so with that, right on, everybody. Oh my God, I got a baby. I'm actually going to be asking all you parents out there, help me. Even though my partner has been an amazing parent to our kiddo, I just like, I gotta have a baby. Like, what do I do with a baby? I don't even know what to do with a baby. I'm actually kind of scared to have a baby, but I already picture myself being that dad with the baby strapped on. With the baby strapped on me, and me hiking up the hill, and me having one of those buggies that you can run behind. I already got it all planned out, kids. I'm going to be that dad that you see constantly, okay? So thank you guys so much. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll talk to you later.